So here's a practical example of some kind of sweep picking part that you would do as a solo or you'll see in a song. So in that example, we're using what we learned earlier about how the shapes lock in with one another. Scales work in these things called degrees, and the first chord that you start on, your root, in this example, it's the key of A major using the C shape, that's called your one chord. So we're playing the one chord arpeggio, which is just A major using the C shape, like that. And what we do is at the end of that arpeggio, we slide up to the third degree of the A major scale, and we play the third degree arpeggio descending. So essentially we're playing the first arpeggio in the key of A major using the C shape, and then we're playing the third arpeggio, which would be a C sharp arpeggio, but we're playing it backwards. And when we lock those two together, it goes like this. Notice that the count remains solid in a 4 or a 6. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. So you can either use them as triplets or in a standard 6/8 measure. Then what we do is we slide up to our fourth degree, which is going to be a D major arpeggio. So after we descend that third degree, our pinky is on a C sharp, we slide that up to the D, which is the fourth degree, and we play an ascending fourth arpeggio. And then we slide that back down to the third degree for a descending. So all together. Now you really want to articulate where the shift happens. You don't want to kind of flub that up or make it sound like it's not exact. Every note has a beat, so there's no room to mess stuff up here. Like that. So if you need to practice the transitions, just isolate that one transition like this. And just do that a few times if you have trouble with it. Slow it down. Like that. And then if you have the same issue going to the D, just do the same thing, isolate it, and try it over and over again. Like that. And remember, every note gets a beat. And if you have trouble here, just isolate sliding it back to that third degree. And then you put it all together. Like that. For the second part of this example, you do the same thing, except instead of going back to the third degree at the end, we slide up to the fifth degree. So we start on our A major, slide up to the third degree and do a descending arpeggio, and then you slide up to the fourth degree and do an ascending arpeggio, and then we slide up to the fifth degree, which is an E major arpeggio, and we do that descending. Like that. Then we slide up to the sixth degree, which is an ascending F sharp minor arpeggio. Slide back for a descending fifth degree arpeggio, which is E major. And then slide back for an ascending D major arpeggio, the fourth degree. And then we slide that back down to the third degree for a descending. And then we're going to slide back for an ascending second degree arpeggio, which is a B minor. And like I said earlier, we double up on that top note, so it's really important to articulate that double up. And then I just kind of add some flourish at the end because I like the way it sounds and it's pretty fun. What we do is we take the seventh degree arpeggio, which is G sharp diminished, and we move the root to the E string. So our first finger is on the 16th fret of the E string. And instead of playing these notes one at a time like this in order, we skip every second note. So instead of going 1, 2, 3, we go 1, 3, and then 2, 4, and then so on and so forth. I use hybrid picking to do this because it jumps across the strings a lot, but I'll provide the tab. You can just figure it out yourself. You can watch. I'll do it very slow. Now Now this is done on a 24 fret guitar, but I'll provide in the tab a variation for 21 and 22 fret guitars. Now there I do something similar to what we did with the diminished arpeggio. I just change how I'm grouping it. The way I'm playing this doesn't really apply to one arpeggio shape, but instead several. And it does a lot of string skipping stuff, but essentially you start on the 17th fret of the high E string, and you play that, hammer on to the 21st fret, and then pull it off. And that's kind of the pattern we'll be using, starting on a previous note and then going up to the next note and then back down to the previous note. We just continue that pattern, and what we end up with is this. Also, I do hybrid picking for that because it skips strings a lot. I'll play it slowly for you so you can kind of see exactly how I'm doing it. From here you can add some more flourishes, like doing the octaves, and then go back down to your original root. Hit that minor, or hit the 7th degree again, and then resolve. That's all music stuff. So that's an example of how the sweep picking patterns can be used in a musical context.